chapter 5. Another controversial one. Here's chapter 5's Josephism, and it's another belter. There is no need to need because there is no need. There is no need to need because there is no need. Now there's a controversial statement from the point of view of our place in society at the moment. But it's not so controversial once you investigate it and you try it out and you live it time and again, and as a result you know it to be true. When I left my director's job many years ago in an advertising agency to begin working full-time as a medium, financially I had to start off with zip, nada, nothing. I'd had a great job there financially, and now I had nothing except the work that was ahead of me. And one day at Jones, the Persian gentleman came through to me. And as I was worrying about how on earth I was going to make ends meet and pay the bills. And he told me I had to say and believe and repeat, I have everything I need. I have everything I need. And so I did. And I did have everything I needed whenever I needed it. It would turn up magically. It would turn up from nowhere. I was always supported. Whatever I needed, in inverted commas, was provided. So, what's needs chapter 5 all about in a nutshell? Whatever we create has consequences. We therefore need to be very careful in what we bring to mind and accept as the truth, minute by minute, day by day. And one of the major concepts we accept as truth in this world is the concept of need. Most souls here don't understand that they actually create everything they think is manifesting outside of themselves from within themselves via their thoughts and their beliefs. Everything we see around us, excluding nature, that's the province of the devas, who kindly set up this stage, this backdrop, so that we can have our being and travel through this life. Everything we see around us has first been created by human thought and human belief, and then given form as solid matter. Everything is given substance first in the spirit, because that's what we really are. Then it takes form in the mind before it takes form in the world. Then it manifests in the world around us, globally and personally. Need is an illusion, very difficult for many souls to accept. Need is an illusion. In spiritual reality, there is no need. As Joseph says, there is no need to need because there is no need. Need is a creation of society. It makes us dependent on society, not dependent on ourselves. And we buy into this, and therefore we bring need personally and globally into being. We accept need as a thing, and therefore we create need as a thing. We've believed in need since the time of the fall, the first mention of the fall. Joseph, of course, would provide a complete book on the subject. But the fall, of course, was that cataclysmic event that plunged this world, changed this world into the world that it currently is. Before the time of the fall, for us as spirits and angelic travelers and visitors to this world, the concept didn't exist here. There was no need. At the time of the fall, we created a supposed need for health. At the time of the fall, we created a supposed need for wealth. At the time of the fall, we created a supposed need for power. Joseph says there is no need outside of ourselves for anything. If your soul is ill, he says, turn off the illness. Turn off your belief in it. If your soul is poor, he says, turn off the poverty. Turn off your belief in it. Instead, turn on, accept, affirm a different set of values. Create not need, but an acceptance of abundance in all areas of your life via your thoughts and beliefs. Visualize, build, see, create the things you want to exist now, personally and globally. See the world you want. We don't like this world. We're not having it like this. We're having it like this instead. And this is the world we see and believe in and create through light, through connection to divinity. We're not having anything under that.
This is how we glorify God, by bringing forth light, simply by knowing. Worshipping is saying, I am God, I am good. There is nothing else outside of myself or within myself. And each day I bring forth light. Each day I need only look inwards to find everything that I need. Each day I create positive things, things for the glory of God.
Controversy here. Controversy. Joseph suggests that doctors should shift their attention primarily from saying, I see illness, to instead saying, I see an imbalance in your thinking that I can rectify by loving you better, and then by treating them on all levels, as they do. Joseph says we shouldn't be in the first instance, puts it very delicately, treating the meat and the bones. He says we should first be treating the soul. That's where the illness lies. That's where the imbalance lies. Politicians, I don't know what happened when I said that word. Politicians should sit to see good, to send out good into the world. My goodness, there's a change in thinking. Politicians should sit to see and send out good into this world. Now, wouldn't that be a shift in thinking and motive and action? Wouldn't that be a change for the better? Politicians should seek to be in tune with the God within, as we all should, and work through visualization and belief to change this world for the better for us all. I hope you're listening. Really, honestly, truthfully, from the heart, hope you are listening. You are here in positions of power to do good. Please start to do it. The situations we create around ourselves via our beliefs are like the skins of an onion. They thicken around us and they slow our progress. Our belief in need thickens, so we perceive more need, whereas we can believe in abundance and create more abundance for ourselves and for others. Joseph suggests that at least once a week we should each sit in quiet contemplation and let go of the things we no longer need. We should sweep them out. Each day should be a new dawn, which it is, and a new opportunity, which it is, to create that which is good. People should not live as though they're going to die, but be determined to live their life to the full. And they should live life to the full each day and create each day and bring light into each day. Each day should be lived to the full positively, creatively, joyfully. Perfection is within us now. We can't be otherwise. If we're born of God, how can we not be perfect? We're only less than perfect via this barrier in the head. Perfection is within us now. It just needs to be accepted and it needs to be manifested. And it's difficult because we've been brought up to believe that the opposite is true. But the more we put into this, the more we say, no, that's not for me. Thank you very much. On your bike. And we think from a different perspective, the more we become in tune with the perfection that we have within us, and the more we manifest that perfection in our own lives and in the lives of everyone around us. To be free and abundant, we need to deconstruct, says Joseph, the ideas that hold us spellbound. It's good to question what is going on around us. Do we believe in it, or is there something from within here that says, no, that's not right? If something within here says, no, that is not right, listen to this. Don't listen to what's out there. This is part of you. This is part of God. This will never lead you astray.
I wish to say to those of you reading this that if you truly don't want to be ill, if you truly want to be rich, if you truly want to be free, if you truly want to be loved, create not a need but an acceptance. Create a remembrance of what you already have. You are already loved. You are already perfect. You are already wealthy. You are already included in infinity. It cannot be otherwise. And yet you choose to separate yourself from these things and the world will never become the better place to live in that so many people hope for until sufficient numbers of you start to create in thought daily, to visualize, build, and see the world you want to exist now.
And
It is essential that each soul, on a weekly basis would be ideal, sits quietly and lets go of the creations it no longer needs. Creations of anger against people it no longer needs. Creations of pain that it no longer needs to hold on to. Creations of upset. Creations of greed. Creations of jealousy. All of these things it no longer needs, it should sweep out on a weekly basis. Much as you delete those contents of a computer that you no longer have use for, it should sweep out the things it no longer needs and uncreate, if you will, demolish and take away from itself that which it no longer needs. Then the soul is free to create purely. And this is why some people seem capable of building so much more than others. Many souls, however, surround themselves with the past, and in doing so they cast a shadow over their futures. They restrict their futures.
thank you, Jane. And I'll also quote Joseph to end on. Look at chapter 5. In conclusion, my message today is one of joy, because it says there is no death. There is nothing except perfection, and perfection is within you now. It does not even have to be worked at. It just needs to be accepted. It is the illusion that needs to be worked at, to be dispelled, to be taken away. Deconstruct your lives, is what I say to you. Deconstruct the ideas that hold you spellbound, so that your God takes the place of the car, takes the place of the holiday, so that those things are ultimately proven to be empty. Choose to reunite yourself with God, the God within, and everything else will fall into place. Chapter 6, Death Revisited. We don't get away from death that easily with Joseph. Death Revisited. Sounds like a sequel, doesn't it? Will it do as well at the box office as Death did? It's usually diminishing returns. But not in this case. Here's the Josephism, Death Revisited. Letting go is letting in. And in this chapter, we're also given the second of Joseph's ancient symbols. Flame as the triangle, humanity's ancient symbols. Flame as the triangle, representing fire and energy. Now, personal insight, in this chapter, Joseph's overshadowing of me began to take over during the communications. Thus far, I had been bringing through his words via clairaudience, not clairvoyance, that means clear seeing, clairaudience, clear hearing. And he would speak to me very rapidly, and I would somehow, I don't know, it must have been like one of the translators in the United Nations, but almost simultaneously, I was recording those words onto tape so that we had them safe. Increasingly, Joseph would overshadow me. I could feel his presence. It was as though I was being enveloped in a cloak of vibration. And during the early days, if I didn't quite understand what he was saying, I would attempt to question him and interrupt. And I found that at this stage, in a sort of semi-trance state, I couldn't. I'd have to hold on to a thought, and I couldn't speak other than with Joseph's words, and I couldn't move my body other than how Joseph wanted it to be moved until the end of the session. So we were fast approaching a trance state, which was something that I should have anticipated, in that they told me that I would go into trance, and I was terrified. I thought going into trance meant that I would lose consciousness. No, it's more like your consciousness steps to one side. You're driving the car usually, and you move around the car, sit in the passenger seat, and let somebody else drive your car. We were approaching that. So the connection with Joseph was becoming more subtle as the book was coming through. So, what's Death Revisited, chapter 6, all about in a nutshell? Death is life, says Joseph, because the death of any idea or the death of any person opens up a stream of changed circumstances. When we die, we don't go anywhere. It's the set of vibrations that's been around us that has gone somewhere, that dies away from us. All spiritual progression, says Joseph, is recognizing what you are and what you are not. Very good advice with regard to the world at the moment. What am I and what am I not? And I will not invest in anything that I am not, but I will invest in what I am, around me and within me. He says the physical galaxy, in fact the physical universe, is an illusion, a physical manifestation, representation of something spiritual, just as the planets are, as we've discussed. Death sets us free, he says, and it does not exist. And he says to the reader, to us, you are that which is. You are that which is. The death of ideas, illusions, cannot harm you. It is the nature of that which is to move on. It cannot be static. It's not its nature to be static. It has to grow. And the end of things here heralds the beginnings of other things. Joseph's bringing through the symbol for fire at this point is highly significant, as the earth is going through a cycle of fire at the moment. Fire consumes. Fire changes, and boy, are we witnessing change here in a minute. Joseph asks us to consider that we burn bodies today, when somebody's gone from here, as a matter of convenience, a matter of space and convenience. But he explains that in his time, and in the ancients' time, bodies were burned for a very specific reason. And that was to make sure that the spirit that had been inhabiting that body, those bodies, was completely set free. Now, I've seen over the years spirits standing by their graves, wondering why they can't get into their bodies. I've seen people visualizing themselves as still being on the floor, having died from a heart attack, and wondering why they can't animate themselves. And there is, in those cases, a link still between the physical body, via the mind, and via vibrations that haven't been cut, to the physical body and the spirit that should be going on into the light. And so in ancient times, we burnt bodies to disconnect them completely from the vibration of the spirit that's been inhabiting them. So the spirit that's been inhabiting them is completely freed and able to move on into higher vibrations. Oh, I shut up now.
Letting go is letting in. It is the letting in of newness, of the revitalization that God energy can bring us. Yet people are so reticent to let go of anything.
And
one of our symbols of strength was a symbol of fire and flame. Flame was represented as a triangle, which was our geometric representation of that form of energy. I would add to your symbols today the triangle, which is fire and energy.
thank you. 2 more chapters to go before the coffee break. You'll be delighted to know this is heavy stuff, condensed into one day. Chapter 7, the heart. Here's the Josephism. The seat of intelligence within the human body is not the head, it is the heart. Also in this chapter, Joseph gives us the third of his ancient symbols, the diamond shape with the line through the center that was the original symbolic image for the heart.
So it is the diamond shape with the line through the centre that was the original symbol of the heart. The line was there to signify the mirroring of God's heart within the human heart. If you pray for people to great effect, then please use the symbol we've given you of the heart. It is a symbol of power, because it is ancient, because it links to us. If you use it in meditation, see it in front of your forehead and see it beating out energy to the world, and you will make a difference during those times that you sit.
And I've been informed that this is the last chapter before the coffee break. So you will be very relieved to know. Now, this chapter is of huge significance because it reveals the true seat of our consciousness, which is not here in the head, but here in the heart. And yes, I know the human heart is off to one side, but the spiritual heart is dead center there. The heart mind. Boy, people have trouble with the heart mind because they are approaching the heart mind from the head mind. First of all, you've got to convince people that they have two minds. that there's the mind up here, which is a fight or flight mechanism, and there's the mind down here, which connects us to the divine for divine inspiration and guidance and answers to our challenges in life. And they say, well, how the heck do you get from the head mind to the heart mind? Well, it's quite simple. You imagine that there's a ball of light, which is your head mind, and you move in meditation that ball of light down from the forehead, down the center of the body to the heart, and you reside for a while within the heart center, where you can do all kinds of amazing things, and then you move your consciousness back up. Now that, of course, is a short version. We do have a meditation that will, a guided meditation that will allow you to do that. And that's on the Joseph Communications YouTube channel. And we also have on our step-by-step course in Higher Consciousness Living, a whole module dedicated to the heart, examination of the heart, understanding of the heart, how to act from the heart center. We'll tag those addresses onto the end of these videos, I think, Tony, for everybody. Because I'm sure everybody in here knows how to do it, don't you? Yes, we do. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I won't go through what we've gone through in past events today. The human heart is a center of energy, a reflection made flesh of the nature of God. Humanity desperately needs a reseating of the intelligence in the human body from the head, which is merely a calculator, to the heart, which proceeds from the heart of God. Only when the human being reseats the center of their consciousness from the head to the heart will things change for the better in this world. Only then, only when we as humanity begin to think from the heart, the true seat of our consciousness. I look at dog walkers. Now, we've both had dogs. We love dogs. We don't have dogs now. I don't think we'd have the patience, keep repairing the furniture, keep blow drying the carpet, all that sort of thing. But I watch dog walkers as an analogy, and I see them with their dogs, and they walk along, and the dog sniffs something, and they stop. And then they shuffle another 2 steps, and the dog is alerted to something else, and it stops, and they stop. And so it goes on. And they say, I'm very healthy, I take the dog for a walk. But the point is, in those circumstances, the dog's in charge, not the human being. And so it is with the head mind. The head mind loves to be in charge. Pay attention to me, I need. Help me to survive. Think in this way. I love it when you're troubled and you invest in me. No. Pull on that lead. Get down to the heart center. That's where we should be operating from. As Joseph says, the head says, I want, but the heart says, I give. What a difference in vibration. The head mind that so many are investing in today says, I want. Give me, give me. The heart says, I give. The task of people who are spiritually motivated at this time, nothing more, nothing less, is simply to teach other people to think, to reason from their heart and not from their head. Joseph says, and this is moving, we weep for the chaos that exists on earth at the moment. Through choice. That's the important bit, through choice. Many souls enjoy the chaos. We weep for the chaos that exists on earth at the moment through choice. But then he says, we weep and then we get on with things. In other words,
If only society realised that everything is of the self, and that each soul and all souls belong to the great self of God, there is only self inside and outside of you, in everything that you see and experience. And only when the human being reseats the centre of consciousness from the head to the heart will things change for the better in your world.
And thank you for your participation this morning. We will now have a coffee, and then we'll tag on the extra chapter from this morning to this afternoon, and we'll go through a meditation that I hope you will find helpful in your daily lives. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.